A wildland-urban interface is the area where an inhabited area meets with the urban sprawl coming from the cities out into the forests. In California, we have a lot of beautiful land, and they want to build in the areas that are most prone to fire because they have the best views and they have the best scenery. What's happening is people build out into the wildland-urban interface, and they're exposing themselves to these wildfires.
We've always had fires in the past, and what's different now? I believe what's changed is for over 100 years now, humans have purposely put out fires where in the past fires were free to burn. Native Americans used fire as a means to control the vegetation. 100+ years of suppressing fires has led to this large accumulation of vegetation, coupled with a recent drought that's killed off some of that stuff. So what happens now when we get a fire and it gets going, starts building some heat, and to the point where it's self-sustained and is going to burn for a period of time, you have all that additional fuel there. And when there's more fuel, obviously it takes more water, more water to put out all the BTUs being released by the fire, so it complicates matters at that point. Fires are, at that point, when there's more fuel, they're able to go from the ground level up into the canopy of the trees. Fires burning in the canopies are very difficult to control even with aircraft. So it's kind of just this accumulation of fuel. It's dead, coupled with hot, dry weather. Our summers tend to be longer now on the beginning and the end, so our fire seasons are longer, and it just complicates the entire matter.
What drives wildland fires is fuel, winds, and topography, and wind being the number one factor that can bring devastating wildland fires. Back in the day, there weren't as many structures being built in these defined areas, and really it's outside of your kind of urban core. And so as the rapid growth and expansion of California or throughout the country, we start putting developments and dotting structures through that what we used to call the wildland-urban interface, or we do call it that. You can see the problem when you have a wildland fire that's going to burn. There's no difference from that being a cluster of trees or a cluster of homes. It's still fuel. And depending on the conditions, if there isn't great clearance, an aggressive response, and a great plan to manage that fire that's coming through, we're going to lose structures.
People tend to build their beautiful homes up in the wildland-urban interface area because it's the most attractive property. But that comes with a risk because the fuels that surround it, it's typically grass, shrubs, oak, woodland. After exposed to prolonged periods of drought, all those fuels become very dry. Also, a lot of these homes are built in areas that topographically lend themselves to fires. They're typically on hillsides, sometimes in drainages where if a fire starts below, it'll burn right up into where the home or section of homes are built. Well, and another thing is in California, we are seeing basically a year-round fire season, which did not used to be the norm, at least in Sonoma County or Northern California.
So what we need to do is focus on being aware of that, being very aggressive with vegetation management, being aware of your situations, having plans, having your structure prepped and ready to be defendable.
What's important for people to know is that we will send the best and most robust response that we can to any wildfire that breaks out. Our goal is to put them out as quickly as possible. So people need to really think about preparing themselves and not rely on police and fire to warn them and tell them everything they need to do every point along the way. They need to join up with their communities, they need to come up with plans, they need to make sure their homes are properly addressed and they're accessible, vegetation is cleared, we can see the addresses on the driveway so we know where we're going, have good maps. All that type of preparation will pay good dividends should a fire like that happen.